Today we are exposing another ridiculous circus act of modern politics. Before we jump into today's headliner, yes, it's Letitia James again. I'm sick of her too, but she's the story that keeps on giving. So get this, New York Attorney General Letitia James, alongside 19 other Democratic attorneys generals, has decided to sue Donald Trump over his executive order targeting, wait for it, immigration funds being used to help illegal immigrants. Welcome to Nellie Miranda. Before we get into today's video, make sure you like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss any updates.
A group of 20 state attorneys general is suing the Trump administration over requirements that tie federal grant funding to immigration enforcement efforts. Tuesday, the coalition of top state prosecutors filed 2 lawsuits in federal court. They argue it is Congress and not the executive branch that determines federal spending. California's attorney general said President Trump doesn't have the authority to place conditions on billions of dollars in grants.
Bottom line is Trump's attempt to condition transportation and homeland security grants on immigration enforcement is illegal. Period, full stop. And we will not let it happen.
The suit follows Trump's executive orders that directed the Justice Department, that is, and the Department of Homeland Security to withhold federal funding to so-called sanctuary jurisdictions. The 20 states listed in the lawsuit include California, Illinois, New York, and Oregon.
That's right. Big Tish with a wish, who's currently under federal investigation for mortgage fraud, is now leading the moral charge to stop Trump from redirecting federal disaster relief from states that openly ignore federal immigration laws. Because how dare he redirect those funds? But here's the gist. Trump signed an executive order that says if you're a state or city refusing to cooperate with immigration enforcement, like giving sanctuary to illegal immigrants, you shouldn't be rewarded with federal disaster relief funds or infrastructure money. Watch this clip on how the redirection can help our veterans.
Well, today, President Trump signed a flurry of executive orders. One of them has a special emphasis on L.A. and its massive homeless vets population. If you've ever driven along San Vicente Boulevard in West L.A. or some of the nearby side streets, you've seen the dozens of tents housing homeless vets near the VA center.
So far, what I've seen, I mean, that's great. That's what we've been trying to get done for years on this campus. And veterans as a whole have been fighting this situation for decades, trying to get more housing built on the West LA VA grounds.
President Trump was busy this Friday in the Oval Office, signing a number of bills, including an executive order establishing the National Center for Homeless Veterans. The center would be headquartered at the VA Center in West LA. Los Angeles has the highest number of homeless vets in the entire country, with estimates of 4,000 unhoused. Rob Reynolds has been an outspoken Iraq War vet, and he underscores the urgent need.
I know for myself and others that have been working for years to get more veterans on that campus, that's what we want to see, to immediately get some temporary housing put on the property, get our homeless veterans off the street, and stop this madness once and for all, because there's absolutely no reason that men and women who served this country and were deployed to combat zones should be sleeping and dying on the streets.
Now the attorneys general, led by James, are screeching like it's the end of democracy, because apparently asking cities not to harbor criminals before handing them millions in disaster aid is just too much to ask. Now, who in their right mind would complain about shifting funds from illegal immigrants to helping our veterans? Letitia James held a press conference flanked by a bunch of state AGs who probably thought they were auditioning for Law & Order Woke Victims Unit. She declared, and I quote, "We will not allow this administration to bully our states into being part of its anti-immigrant agenda." So, in other words, we will not allow the federal government to stop us from spending taxpayer money on people who aren't even supposed to be here. Now, let's take a look at the logic from Trump's side. If states want to break federal law and refuse to help ICE detain and deport criminals, why should federal taxpayers fund their flood response teams, their bridge repairs, or their disaster preparedness fairs? But as we all know, 2 things can be true at once. I think funds should be directed towards helping our veterans and Americans, but I don't think that innocent American citizens in those particular states should be denied flood response teams, bridge repairs, etc., because their state has poor leadership. Now, here's where it gets good. The lawsuit argues that Trump is violating the Constitution by using federal funds as a political weapon. But hold on a second. Isn't this the same Letitia James who used her office to go after Trump's taxes, his business, and his social media account because he's a bad man? When she targets Trump, it's justice. But when Trump targets illegal immigration, it's weaponization. Make it make sense. Because let's be real here, this isn't about disaster relief or even immigration. This is about power, control, and the narrative. These AGs don't want to follow federal immigration law, but they want federal money. It's like refusing to pay rent, then suing your landlord for not fixing the heat. And the public, oh, they're catching on. New Yorkers are catching on to her antics.
Well, New Yorkers are ecstatic. We are so happy that President Trump and Pam Bondi have stepped in to finally hold, I call her, criminal first, illegal alien first, Kathy Hochul and Letitia James accountable for the absolute terror that they have brought into New Yorkers that we face every single day in our state, not only from the Swanton sector, the northern border, which is St. Lawrence and Franklin and Clinton counties, but also from our southern point in New York City, where we have been bombarded by illegal aliens, criminals, I might add, Tren de Aragua, people that are absolutely wreaking havoc on our communities, drug traffickers, sex traffickers, cartels, and they are finally now, Hochul and Letitia James are finally going to be held accountable. New Yorkers are cheering at this decision. We feel a very wonderful sense of relief at this decision, and we are very thankful that the Trump administration is moving forward. And I really hope that finally, we are going to see justice prevail in our state.
This lawsuit isn't about justice. It's about theater. It's a bunch of blue state AGs trying to score political points, distract from their own scandals, and deflect from the very real problems in their states. Meanwhile, illegal immigrants are prioritized, criminals are protected, and the average Americans are stuck footing the bill for legal fees, flood repairs, and federal lawsuits. So what do you think? Should states that ignore immigration laws still get federal money? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.